everybody, I'm Deborah Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and my last video I talked about fascia, the importance of fascia. Now I want to show you some movements that you can get, ways to warm up your fascia, prevent it from drying out. They're very easy to do. We're going to try to do this in 10 minutes. If you do this every day, it'll really help with joint discomfort, and all other kinds of things. But anyway, let's start with our mat. We always want to align our bodies before we start moving it. So feeling it from the bottoms of your feet as you move down into the earth, engage those thigh muscles. That inner core starts to get engaged. We tuck our tailbone under a little, lift your shoulders up, slide them back, slide them down. Maybe do a couple of neck rotations. I always like to start my movements with rotations. So I didn't want to do that right now because I wanted to get into heating up the body safely to get some heat to the surface of the skin and also to warm up your fascia. So we're simply going to start by drawing up the earth energy from the palms of the hands, flip the arms up and bring them up overhead. And as you're doing this, we're going to come up onto our toes. As you exhale, you shift into the heels, bend the knees as comfortably as you can. Try not to knock knee, engage those in that inner core, come down. Inhale, we're going to rise up. It's like a big yawn in your body. And then as you exhale, shift into the heels, tuck your tailbone under and bending the knees comfortably, engaging those thigh muscles. Inhaling again, drawing up the earth, coming all the way onto the toes. As you drop your heels, tuck in that tailbone, bending the knees, bringing the arms down. So we're like this big stretch here in the whole body, comfortably, safely. If you feel any discomfort, do it as comfortable as you can. It's that you don't have, if you can't come up onto the toes, that's perfectly fine. Just lifting the arms up and down will help. So we're activating the body. We're starting to bring some heat into the system, especially to the surface of the skin, activating all our systems here by doing the simple movement of drawing up, stretching, and as you exhale, you're compressing. So you're creating your body's like a big pumping system. We're starting to pump the fluids from the bottoms of the feet. As it pumps up through your system, we're turning on some of our applications, just like your phone. You have your phone. We know how to work our phone. The phone, you have to turn on applications for it to work. You have to shut the phone off so it rests and it can reboot its battery. That's us. So we're turning on some of these simple applications of circulating, of stimulating, of activating. Even if you just did this in the morning before you start your day, or if you've been sitting a lot, just simply do this. Because there's a lot happening here. I'll show you a side view. As I'm coming up, there's a little bit of a back bend. And as I shift into the heels, I tuck my tailbone under. Then we're rounding the spine a little bit. So we're getting some, movement in the spinal column as well. Usually, water goes to its lowest point. We have fluids, 70% of our body's fluids. And if you're not moving, especially over the age of 50, then all that water, where's it going to go? It's going to pool in the lower extremities, and that's not a good plan to have too much fluid in your lower body. Makes for a very unstable body. And so we're pumping. We're turning on the pumping. We're turning on the circulatory system. As you simply inhale, that will bring some breath into it. Exhale, releasing down. Inhaling, getting some heat to the system. Exhaling, compressing. So we're this hydraulic system. We need to pump the fluids. And when you're coming onto the toes and you're shifting into the heels, you're activating the kidney meridian and the bladder meridian. You're activating your wellspring, which is the pumping system for your fluids. We're taking the fluids out of the lower extremities and we start to pump them up. Your calf muscles act like a sponge. When you wring a sponge out, it starts to wring out all the toxins, all the dirt out of the sponge, and it starts to propel the fluids to start to rise up. The lymphatic system fluids are real important to manually go. So we're manually going in and creating some movement that's gentle and that's safe, creating a little bit of a heat to the surface of the skin, warming up your fascia, a rubber band. Think of your body as a big giant rubber band. If a rubber band gets dried out, what happens? It snaps, it breaks. That's your body, that's your fascia. So we want to be really careful about that, not drying the system out. Aging is a lot about drying out. We want to get moisture back into our system. We want to get our body regulated, stimulated, and then it'll create a lot of vitality. Let's do one more, and then exhale, release. Now bring your hands like you're holding a big ball, soften those knees again, and take a couple breaths here. So we're standing still, but yet there's a lot going on. You're feeling the stimulation coming to the surface of the skin. It's just an easy way to prevent any kind of damage by just standing in this mat and holding an invisible ball. You're creating heat from the inside out. So take some breaths here. Feeling some stimulation, maybe some sensation from just, you know, combining heaven and earth, that movement we just did. You feel a nice internal heat for your system. It's a safe way to get heat and energy. You're turning on your energy source. You're plugging into your power source, plugging down through the bottoms of the feet into the crust of the earth. Feeling that lengthening up through the crown of the head. So you're connecting between earth and sky, connecting between earth and heaven, as they call in Qigong, our natural habitat of where our bodies live and move. And then release. Hopefully you feel some sort of sensation. We're going to take it to one other, sorry, I have my phone on. Forgot to do that. Let's do a little bit of shaking. So we start by shaking the hands, shaking the arms, and then just jumping up and down slightly, just a little bit of a bounce. Again, we're getting some more stimulation to the system, shaking the 9 gates. If you have any sort of inflammation, especially in the joints, shaking the 9 gates is going to bring circulation to those joints to help release some of that achiness. Especially, you know, we want to think of your system as a hose. You know, if a hose is knotted up and clogged up, you're not going to get any water through it. If your body's clogged up, if you're congested in any sort of way, that's, you know, emotionally congested, physically congested, you create these knots in the hose, and the body's not going to flow fluid. You're not going to feel that flow. And we want to stand like a mountain, flow like a river, and move like the wind. That's kind of the mantra for this practice. So again, this is another quick way to get that stimulation, to get that circulation, to get that activation, get your fascia so it's more pliable, that you're not drying out. And I'm going to be talking about sweet dew in my next video, and it's a very interesting one. It's, again, another easy thing that you can do for yourself to keep your body hydrated and fluid. Pink, plump, and moist. We want to be pink, plump, and moist. That's another great mantra to live by. And then stop. Hopefully you feel some sensation, some tingling in the fingers. Are your hands pink? Are your feet warm? Is your mouth moist? Again, 3 spots that'll give you a good indication if you got that circulation going. I hope you like this. You know, try to do it as often as you can during the day. It's a really easy little thing that I do all day long just to keep my circulation going, my vitality, my juice going. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day, and namaste to all who have joined. And if you like my stuff, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try to post at least once a week, so you have something to refer to, and you just hit the subscribe button and you'll get notified when I post something new. Thanks again. Be well.